Good afternoon. Thank you all for staying with us or joining us for the second part of the virtual open day that is going to be concerned mostly about the Master in Applied Economics program. My name is Hromádková and I am the program director of MAE, as the short it says, program. And first, I would like to introduce you through the content, what you can expect today and what you are going to hear today and who you are going to hear today. Just first to say, it's not going to take the whole 1.5 hours, so please relax, enjoy the ride. A few comments to kind of organizational stuff. Please keep muted during the presentations and during the discussions of either faculty or alumni. And if you have any questions, please write it into chat or wait until the time that we encourage you to ask questions. So that's for the organizational part. With the overview of today's program, first I will shortly introduce CERGE-EI as an institution that is running this program. I know that some of you might be staying here from the PhD part, so it's going to be relatively short and informative. Then I will introduce the program itself, its content, what makes us special, what makes us different. And around that time, we will be joined by our first two guests, which is the faculty of our program, Andreas Menzel and Paul Whitaker, who are going to tell us something about their specific subjects, what they are doing, how they perceive students of MAE, and what is their idea about how a student should look like and what he should do during the studies. Then we will give floor to our selected alumni. We have decided to invite people who have very close experience with the program, so the last year's alumni, mainly because they don't only have fresh memories about how does this life look like. They have been here in person as well as enjoyed, I would say, in spring the online teaching, so they know how we operate in both of the systems, and they can tell you what you can expect, what are the pros and cons, of course, and what can you do after you finish. And finally, there will be room for your questions and our answers, hopefully, at the end. So that's probably the introduction, and I will go immediately to the presentation, please. Thank you. Sorry. So who we are, who is this institution that you see only a part of and not really the most beautiful part, because the most beautiful part is on the second floor. CERGE-EI is a joint workplace, or has been established actually 30 years ago as a joint project of Charles University and Czech Academy of Sciences. CERGE-EI, which nobody knows how to pronounce correctly, stands for you can see it, Center for Economic Research and Graduate Education, Economic Institute, where the Economics Institute actually stands for the Economic Institute of the Czech Academy of Sciences. Before 30 years, it became a joint venture of these two institutions with the idea of bringing basically new style of education, of economic education into this post-communist area, to guide the country through the transition, to give the students knowledge and access to information they haven't had before. Of course, the goals of the institution have changed a lot. And after 30 years, we are still standing here, we are still strong, providing probably the best education in economics in the eastern part of Europe for sure. And we strive to give access to different types of education, to PhD level, graduate level, as well as very practical level, for which the Master in Applied Economics program is targeted. The institution is located in Prague, in the Czech Republic, in a palace, even though it doesn't look like palace here, but it's Šebek Palace with beautiful rooms that are actually used for the teaching. So it's a great way how to enjoy both nice place and good education. CERGE-EI has become widely known in the recent 1 year, I would say, due to its involvement into the COVID issues and due to its involvement in analysis of how to get out of this problem when it concerns the economic approach. However, some people forget that the primary goal of this institution is to be an education institution, and we have 3 study programs with different focuses. The program that I'm representing and I'm introducing to you is MA in Applied Economics, and we have also a MA in Economic Research that you probably heard or you could have heard more about in the first part, and if you are still interested in that, come to our website and watch that part of the open day, and of course the PhD in economics. Each of these programs has its focus and has kind of the ideal student that should apply for that. And all 3 types of students are meeting here together. All the programs are relatively small scale, which allows us to focus individually on each and every student. And it also allows us to know our students, the faculty to know our students, and to basically work together as hopefully one big family. Specifically, MA in Applied Economics program is dedicated for the students who have achieved their bachelor's in the last year or the before years. Of course, it's open also for MA finished or higher education or other type of university degrees. We have had alumni who were coming from completely different fields of study like history, law, etc., and they were still very successful. What was the story behind this program, or why this program has evolved? Well, we had, as I told you, CERGE-EI is an educational institution. Both and PhD program mainly has 30 years of history. And during these 30 years of history, we had many alumni coming out of the program that were going into academia, which was the primary target, but also they were going into public sphere, and mostly they were going into the business sphere, and they were very much valued for how they approached problems, for their technical skills, and for everything that they have been taught at the CERGE-EI. So the idea 11 years ago for the program MA in Applied Economics was, let's basically distill these things that are very much asked for in the business field, and let's put them into one very focused, very intensive master program that is still keeping the standards of CERGE-EI in the level of education, but is going to deliver you this education in 1 year, fast and furious, fast and focused. So as I'm saying it, and it was established 11 years ago, the idea was to have an intensive 1 year program. So we have 1 year, 3 semesters of quite hard work, which you can ask our alumni for, with focus on data science and basically application and use of data for daily decision making in all the fields of business and economic policy making. So the main idea for this year is for our students to develop analytical and problem-solving skills that are essential for their careers and that we identified through our talks with the alumni, like what was the most important thing that you needed in your new job. The curriculum is more focused on real-life applications, on projects where you can get the access to the data, where you learn how to work with them, how to distill from the data information that you need to make your decision as a businessman. And we also accompanied with a career guidance, so with a specialized run or field of the program where we focus on each individual and try to advise him on what would be the best career road for him. MA in Applied Economics is a one-year program. It has, and when you finish it, you get an American Master MA degree, which is given to us under absolute charter from New York State Board of Regents. And this title is nostrified in the Czech Republic by Masaryk University and in the other countries by their own specific education nostrification agencies. Okay. So the problem is often, or when I talk to regarding the students of the program, most of the time I speak with them in person. So it's I can ask them and I can discuss with them whether the program that we are offering is something that they would need or they would prefer, or whether it fits their lifestyle, their goals in life, their educational needs. I cannot ask each and one of you individually, so I have to give you kind of like 3 big reasons why this program might be right for you, and you can basically map it onto your own needs and internal decisions. First, the learning that you are going to get, or the education that you are going to get, will be hands-on. So we really from the start are focusing on how to use data in everyday decision making. So we teach you how to gather data, manipulate data, analyze data, and make decisions based on data. This is all delivered through the choice of electives taught either by the professors that are coming from CERGE or from the experts from the field. So the idea is, if you want to learn machine learning, you're going to learn it from a person that does it for a specific company. If you want to learn about monetary policy, you are going to learn it from a person that is the head of monetary policy department for 10 years. If you are going to talk about fiscal policy, again, you want to talk to a person that analyzed it for at least 11 years. And that's who we are looking for when we are looking for the teachers for our electives. And finally, these are the 3 semesters of hard work, and usually the MA degree is finished by a dissertation or by a thesis. In our program, it is not so, or not specifically so. The idea is that we, in our program, we offer you a choice of the projects, real-life projects with real-life clients. These projects are done in the 3rd semester, so from April to July, developed under the supervision of the projects, and if they are happy with it, they are going to implement it in their business strategy, which means that you are not only learning, but you are actually doing something with value added, which is great. The second thing why this program and the whole institution as such is good for you, or might be the right for you, is that at least I, because I'm an alumni of the PhD program as well, I think about the institution as a community and about our MAE program as a really strong community with our alumni, current students, and our prospective students as well. So far, we had students from over 35 countries. The faculty that you are going to meet, at least the local faculty, is going to be really selected from the top researchers in the world. So if they're teaching something, they are masters in their field. And our alumni who are still quite tied with us, have interesting careers in startups, they work in central banks, they work in consulting, and they are very open to talk to you about how they got there. And a lot of them actually got their job because they knew the previous alumni. So the network keeps spreading, and it's one of the biggest value added that I see in the program. And the third one is what attracts a lot of people to us, and that is that we are very personalized, I would say. That I know all my students by their name. I sometimes know their parents if they need to know, if I need to know them. Nevertheless, we have a small class setting where you can discuss with people what they actually need, what are their preferences. In current online system, we still have weekly meetings to find out what could be done to ease and simplify their access and their lectures. The professors have, or at least the professors that we have very open door policy. They are very open to the students, and you will see what they will tell you about how they perceive the problem, the cohorts and students. And finally, big part of our curriculum is the personal and professional development program, which is looking at or trying to build up from the first semester the idea of what you are good in, how can you cash on it in your personal life and as well as professional life. So currently, for example, we are in the stage where our current students are sending out the CVs to the companies that they might be interested in. They talk to the alumni that have similar jobs, and basically are looking for how to proceed after they finish with us. Okay, what's the time? Sorry. 12:18. Do we have anybody from the faculty joining in? Yeah, we have Andreas. So I think that before I go into further program details, it would be now nice to see and to talk to two of our faculty. First, we have here Andreas Menzel, who is teaching our applied microeconomic analysis. Am I right, Andreas?
Yes. Yes.
Basically, if you just can tell us, like, what are you teaching? How do you perceive difference between our students and maybe different students that you have ever taught, and just like what you like about the program, what you maybe don't like about the program.
Yeah, sure. Can everyone see me? Because I think I'm not sure. I'm visible, but I have my video on. So, hello everyone. Like, I'm Andreas Menzel. I teach since a number of years the applied micro course, which always comes as part of your first term in this program. So let me just say very quickly about myself first, and then I talk a little bit more about the course. So, like, I'm here at CERGE-EI since about 5 years. Before I did my PhD, in economics, my doctorate at the University of Warwick in England. And this is already, like, I think, a really nice signal. So almost all of your teachers will have like an education at a top university from in the world, be it in places in England, in the US, Germany. Some actually have also PhD from Czech Republic, but we're like a really international group who, like, from their training and their own research, really are connected to the worldwide research community. All right. A bit more about the course that I'm teaching, that is microeconomics. Now, microeconomics, I always say, is the toolbox for economics. So in my course, like, we familiarize ourselves a little bit like with the language and the tools that economists use all around the world. This course may be a little bit more theoretical than all the other courses that you have that are really applied. But I think one of the strengths of economics and why economists are typically so successful in the job market is that we kind of speak one language that every economist can understand. Like when we say what is a demand elasticity, right? Or what is a Nash equilibrium, then kind of every other trained economist out there will immediately know like what you mean. Okay, and so in my course is making sure that you speak like the language and know the basic concepts that economists use all around the world in research or in jobs in the private sector. Okay, so typically, I mean, I really enjoy teaching this course. There is typically a very diverse set of people in the course, right? So we have people that have like an economics bachelor, we have people that have like a business bachelor, but we have people that have engineering bachelors or masters even, or other degrees, architecture, urban planning. What else do I remember in my career? Like maybe a health science and teaching. So, but all these people kind of wanna come together to either add an economics degree or to deepen their economics or finance degree that they have, right? To some extent, so my course is also there to kind of bring everyone to the same platform so that you can then really enjoy like together your macro courses or your machine learning courses, or maybe the finance courses that you will then take further onwards. Okay, is there anything else for me to say other than like I hope like the students enjoyed my course. Obviously, it's also a very intense program. Like it's only a one-year master, so like there is stuff to do. There are graded assignments for you to do. We give you like also in my course, even in my course that is maybe the most theoretical course in the program, even there we're gonna use data-based assignments that gives you part of your grade for this course. So you will have like some real data either from firms on their production side or from customers on the demand side, and we're gonna estimate demand curves, etc., demand elasticities, and try to understand how it fit with what we're teaching in the course. All right, I think so far from me, but if there are more questions, I'm happy to talk a bit more, but yeah, let me know. But yeah, I hope like that at least some of you will join us next year.
So thank you. Actually, we choose I was choosing the professors based on their evaluations, which were totally excellent last and this year. So, so Andreas's course, even though, as he correctly stated out, is one of the more theoretical, is very much loved, and it basically builds the foundations for the students to be able to learn a lot of further stuff, additional stuff in the spring semester and summer semester, as you can see it on the board. If there are no questions from in the chat or from the audience, I would like to introduce you I would like to thank Andreas first, sorry. And I would like to introduce you to Paul Whitaker, which is our lecturer for the Communication for Impact courses that are running through the whole length of the program. So hello, Paul, and if you can tell us a quick overview of what you are doing with the students, do you like them, and where you are heading with it.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Eva. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the MA Open Day. Hope you're finding it informative and you'll find it useful towards helping you make a decision about your future education. So following on from what Andreas said about his course, yes, I'm one of the other lecturers taking one of the courses, but I'm not teaching economics courses. So I focus on communication for impact. If you look at the slide that's showing now, you'll see that in the 3 main semesters of the program, we have communication for impact. So it's a course that goes along through the whole academic year. So we have a lot of time together. We cover a lot of different topics. And of course, you need to have the hard skills and the technical knowledge, which is great. But it doesn't get you that far if you don't have the soft skills and the ability to communicate all of the knowledge and the skills that you learn. So we try to combine the hard skills and the soft skills to make you a better all-round person in your field. So let me just talk you through briefly the course, what we do and how it works. So in the first semester, we focus a lot on professional writing. So to help you with structure, to avoid plagiarism, how to write reports, professional reports in a better way. And a large part of the course is also focused on presentation skills. It's a very practical area of the program, so there'll be lots of workshops and activities that you'll be doing, but we'll be looking at all of the most up-to-date methods of giving presentations, slide design, your own personal sort of body language and how you conduct yourself. So these are important aspects that we'll be covering. In the second semester, we have a shift a bit more towards business skills, and we look at some of the important communication aspects that are required in your everyday working life. So we focus on things like relationship building, conflict management, negotiating, your abilities to persuade other people and build strong arguments when you're communicating. And we also continue with presentations, and we do like an advanced presentations part of the program. So throughout all of the course, all of the activities, I try to make it so that the students are actively involved, and they tend to like that part of the program. So, you know, there is some theory, but it's very practical based. Everything is focused on how do things work in the real world, and what are you going to be doing, and what are you going to be using in your day-to-day communication. As for the students, I've been at CERGE-EI for 7 years, so I've taught many of the students. I've been on the MAE program for all but one of those years, and the students are ambitious. They like being involved and active and doing things. And also it's been very pleasant to be around them. You know, usually I find interaction with the students very enhancing, both for me and for them. And usually, you know, we have a few laughs along the way as well. And generally, you know, it's a tough year, as Andreas said. But you know, I think it's an enjoyable year for many people as well. So that's overview for my side and my course. If there are any questions from you, then please ask. I'm happy to answer. Okay, I'll hand back to you, Eva.
Thank you, and thank you for nice and kind words. And I must say that our students immensely love you. And you are also one of the courses that is run during this online era with very great success, because it has been successfully translated from the office setting to the online setting, and it seems that without any loss on the quality part. So I'm very, very happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. So, if you have any questions to our teachers, probably not, because we don't see anything in the chat. Let me maybe continue or develop on what they were saying. Basically, you have seen, can we, we're going into the part where we are going to talk about financial issues. So the curriculum there is the curriculum that you can see on the screen consists of 3 semesters and 1 online preparatory semester. In the online preparatory semester, the main idea is to get people on board and at the same level before they come here. Usually it's not that successful because during the preparatory semester some people are more lazy, they don't do their assignments and so on. But it's a great opportunity for people to see like what level of micro, macro, or economics, basically, mathematics, and programming in R knowledge we need. Then we have a semester, fall semester, that is mostly about building foundations. With foundations, I mean really going on the same level with micro, macro, quantitative methods, together with programming in R. This is all accompanied by communication for impact as introduced by Paul. And we already started the personal and professional development. In that part is mostly about what kind of skills do you have, what kind of skills do you would like to acquire, and how does it fit into your future. In the spring and summer, you will have some core courses like quantitative methods too, but mostly a choice of electives. And it doesn't, thank you. Choice of electives, where the list of electives that has been offered in the last years is presented on the screen. So you can choose from these and build up basically your capital in order to get through. You need to have 7 courses in order to finish. Here you have some ideas of what has been done or what is being done during the personal and professional development, where we obviously sleep. And we go for the visits. Maybe Yulia can tell you some. Now I will give floor to Yulia Shevelova, who is responsible for this part of the program. So Yulia, if you can in short tell us something about what we are doing here and why we are doing it there.
Hi everyone, my name is Yulia. I'm the career counselor for the Masters in Applied Economics program. And I'm very glad we do have this personal and professional development course. It is indeed a course and a required course, which we ask all students to take because we do take care of your professional development and we do want you to succeed upon graduation from the MAE. So the course consists of a number of activities from which you can choose. They are mostly voluntarily, and here you can see the list. What we do is we invite professionals from different fields, starting with psychologists and ending with specialists who work in certain fields, for example, financial analysts, data scientists, people who can tell you what it's like to work in certain fields. We do also different individual activities like mentoring, for example, when you can be paired up with an individual mentor. Usually the goal is to find out again what it's like to work in certain area, and mentors could be anything and everything. They could be as senior as the department director of Google for the Czech Republic, for example. Or they can be, on the contrary, closer to you, one of our ME graduates who would be recent graduates and will be talking to you how they found their job. What you see here on the picture, the funny picture where we actually sleep, is not the sleep itself, though I think some of the students would appreciate it in between the classes. But this is the stress reduction exercise. We do have a professional coach who teaches you how to work on stress reduction, how to be mindful, how to relax, because we believe that it's an important skill which you can actually learn once it comes to everyday life. And in general, the whole goal of the personal or professional development is to help you find a job. And of course, we do assist you with that through individual consultations. And we do help you to make the first contact in companies. So hopefully once you come here, I'll be glad to work with you on job search.
Really, and thank you for introduction of the personal and professional development program. And finally, in the third semester, as I told you, through April and July, we are working on these final projects. Here you see some of the companies that we worked for. Some of them are well-known, like Moody's, Nielsen, or CERGE-EI. Some of them are less known because they are startups, but very successful startups in their fields, like Cogvio or Datel. And you are asked to not only work, but also present the projects. And I think that this is now the part where I can ask the two of the alumni that have joined us, David and Pavla. So let's start with the lady. Pavla, who was our alumni from the last year. So I introduced you the curriculum, and she can tell you like her experience, like why did she apply, how did she suffer through the year, because it's sometimes suffering, what was her high points and what was her low points. So welcome, Pavli. It's nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too. Hello, everyone. As Eva mentioned, my name is Pavla Neumanova, and I graduated last year from the MA program. What was most surprising for me at the beginning was definitely the intensity of the program. Everyone says that it's an intense program. Andreas mentioned that, Paul as well, but no one could imagine how intense it would really be. It's really everyday learning or working on projects. It's not just learning by heart some facts, but it's really working on projects, programming, writing papers, kind of essays, and so on. So you have to be prepared for hard work for this 1 year. What is also quite surprising is that it's American style program, as you already know, I guess. So the exams, for example, they all take place in 1 week. So you don't have much time to study for a particular exam. You have to be ready to do everything in 1 week only. But on the other hand, the exams are not about memorizing things. Typically, it's rather about understanding the topic, which is something that I really liked about the program in comparison with my previous studies, for example. It's really practical because in the last semester you have a chance to work with a real company on a real project. As for me, we worked with, and now I can't remember the name. It just disappeared from my mind. We worked with Moody's. Sorry, I couldn't remember. We worked with Moody's, yeah, and it was. I really appreciated the chance to work with them. They really help you. It's not like in my previous studies, we also did projects for real companies, but they typically told us at the beginning what to do and what they expect, and then no one cared about us for the following 3 months, for example. Here you really have a chance to talk to people from the company every week. You even have to do so because you discuss your work with them. So it was really enriching in this sense. What else could I mention? It also, studying at CERGE-EI was also great fun. We really had a good team there because people are kind of ambitious, all of them. They like discussing, so they are not just sitting in the classroom and sleeping, but we are really involved in discussions. That's something what I really liked. Yeah. I'm still thinking.
So is there any advice for a future student that you would give, like don't plan anything for the year to come, or
What advice do I give to students? I would definitely recommend the program. So if you have the chance to come to Prague and study here, I would definitely recommend that. For both, I don't know if most of you who are here as participants are from abroad or Czech students, but I would definitely recommend it to both because it's really one of the best economic programs here in Prague. So I would recommend it definitely to Czechs and both foreigners if there are any among participants. It's very well perceived. Like CERGE-EI is very prestigious. If you mention that you studied at CERGE-EI, it's well received by, I believe, employers and so on. I personally chose rather an academic path, so maybe David will later mention something more about searching for a normal job. And any kind of advice, you have to be ready to learn new things. It's very fast beginning, so you are thrown into the water right from the beginning. You have to start programming and working, so be ready for that, but it will pay off at the end, I'm sure.
And that's great closing words. So if there are no questions from, or you can think about questions, I will ask Pavla to stay here for a while. And now we will ask David as well, if he could join us. Ahoy, David. He is from the same class as Pavla, so they know each other. David, so you already know the drill. So if you can tell us something, maybe what we heard or what we haven't heard, your perception, your ups and downs.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's very nice to see you, Pavla, Eva, Paul, and Andreas, and Julia, of course. So from my perspective, let me introduce myself. I graduated with Pavla last year. So, and I also hold a bachelor degree from the University of Economics in Prague. So I can compare these two institutions like CERGE-EI and University of Economics in Prague. So what really surprised me at CERGE-EI was the open culture. Here there are like small groups of students. In our cohort there were like seven students. So it's the big difference compared to CERGE-EI, for example. The second big difference was that professors on CERGE-EI are really like successful in their area, and you have a professor who graduated, for example, from Princeton or Oxford, for example. So this was really inspiring for me, and that's a huge difference compared to CERGE-EI, for example. The next big difference is that Eva is a director of the program, and after each semester she asked me about my feelings about the program, about my progress, about my results, which was also really surprising for me because I didn't know that from the VŠE. And of course, your classmates are quite different compared to the classical school, I would say, because they are very ambitious. So you have to work really, really hard to be successful at this program. And the last thing what I would mention is that there are lots of, for example, parties with your professors and with your classmates. So for example, at the beginning of the program, I made a small party at my cottage with Eva, with Paul, and with all my classmates, which is also like a very, very cool and different from the universities here in the Czech Republic. Yeah, and maybe last thing I would like to mention is that here at CERGE-EI, they also care about your professional development. You have courses with the Paul, for example, where you are presenting, where you are like developing your soft skills, like negotiating, writing academic papers, or just writing emails and so on, which can be also pretty beneficial for you in your next career. I think that's all from me. So if you have any question, do not hesitate to ask me. I would like to answer.
Thank you, David. It's funny because it's always nice to say ex ante that you had to fight for that you were challenged by your classmates, right? But actually in your year it was great because it was partially challenge but a lot of love as well. So cooperation and challenge combined, perfect in perfect symmetry. I don't see any questions to you, so I won't keep you that much longer. I would just like to say that for the future, if any of the people who are interested in studying at MAE have any questions or would like to talk to MAE graduate or alumni, write us and we will arrange it. Maybe you need to talk with somebody who graduated from the same university or has the same background as you. It is possible, and usually our alumni are happy to talk because, you see, they are nice people. we choose nice people, I would say. So thank you very much, both of you. Thank you for joining it. It's always great to see you. It would be better to see you live, but hopefully in fall for the 40th anniversary, which is going to take place if the COVID stops. So thank you very much and take care.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So you have seen our alumni, and finally we're getting to the part that is more about practical. Out of the free programs that CERGE-EI is providing, this one is paid, as some of you have noticed. The tuition for the program is 9,500 for the complete one. Early applicants, early birds who already passed, unfortunately, are having $2,000 discount. This money is paid in 4 installments, but we have several scholarship and financial aid available, which are listed here, and they're also listed on our website. So currently you can basically ex ante choose from 2 scholarships, Impact for Society and Public Service Fellowship. Impact for Society is intended for people who are already involved in the projects that have some social impact and ideally is related to some data work, data analysis, data collection. The tuition level after you obtain Impact for Society Fellowship is $3,000, and you need to submit an essay with a project description by the end of the application period. With the Public Service Fellowship, currently we also have one student studying under Public Service Fellowship. It's for people who are either working or planning to work in a public sector in selected countries. So the idea is to basically teach and educate people who are going to work for the society in the public sector. Here the tuition level is even lower, $1,900. However, we really need the proof of employment there, the proof that they are either going to accept you when you are finished or that you are all currently working in an institution. Typically, currently we have person studying there from Slovakia. We had some Croatians. So this is also an interesting way how to enter and study for lower amount of money. During the studies, you can either apply for a applied learning program, which is basically some assistantship program within the ME. And finally, if you are successful and if you are working hard, you can get a merit scholarship, which is calculated as a discount from the remaining tuition and is based on the economic performance in the fall semester. So the answer to the question whether you can study completely for free is probably not. You can study for lower tuition level, and of course, if you have merit scholarship on the top of it, the costs of study go down. We have also a financial aid program, but financial aid doesn't lower your tuition level to zero, and is based on individual assessment of your needs. As regards the admissions, the regular round of admissions for all the programs is March 31st. So that's the date that you need to remember for CERGE-EI as such. Prerequisites for our program in particular is BA or bachelor's degree in almost any field. As you have heard from Paul and Andreas, we had people coming in from all the possible fields, history, urban economics, everything. And actually it seems that if people are coming from the field that is not that economic focused, they are sometimes more motivated to succeed. We need fluency in English, or at least some level of English, which will get you through the semester, because basically English is a working language. Knowledge of basic calculus and algebra, which we test during the application procedure, and any work or internship experience is more than desired and will be calculated as a plus. There are certain documents that you need to submit. You can either find them in our online submission, or when you when you start your online application, you will be contacted by Eliška or Julia and asked about the documents that you haven't submitted yet. And during the admissions, when you submit your application, you are going to be invited for a math test, which is relatively simple, and basically it gives us a tool to weed out people who didn't see any math at all. And then you're going to have an interview with me, so I'm going to talk to you about what you're expecting from the program and whether we can fit your expectations. This way we are able to decide about our admissions relatively fast. So the deadline is March 31st, and the decision you will know by April 21st, but usually sooner. To kind of as a sign of agreement that you want to join us for the next year, you are asked then to pay the deposit, the tuition deposit of $1,000, which is then subtracted from your tuition. So then you only have to pay the rest of the tuition in those 4 installments. Okay. Here we have some maps of successful alumni, which is always nice to have. I'm deciding between putting a map or putting a picture of beautiful Prague, but I think that map is better because it shows where all the people are coming from. Then thank you for participation. Hopefully you didn't fall asleep. Have a great rest of the day and hope to see you in future at CERGE-EI, ideally in person. Bye-bye.